Kris Radlinski won every honour that British Rugby League has to offer during his glittering 13-year career, and now he has something special to add to his collection, an MBE.
He'd come completely out of the blue. You know, such an award like that to be given to me is you know, pretty overwhelming. You look through our game, there's so many people that are probably deserving of one, and you know, I personally think that more people in our game should get them for the work that they put in, you know, on and off the field. And you know, part of me is slightly embarrassed that, you know, I've been given one in front of, you know, people which I think maybe deserve one more. So I'm very grateful for it and very honoured to receive it. I just thought we had a few more in our game.
As modest off the field as he was talented on it, Radlinski burst onto the scene as a teenager in 1995, becoming the first player ever to score a hat-trick in a Premiership final. And that was just the start for one of the biggest stars of the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st. He won the first ever grand final in 1998 and famously came off his hospital bed 4 years later to inspire the Warriors to an upset Challenge Cup final victory over St Helens. There were 20 Great Britain caps, and now he joins one of Rugby League's most exclusive clubs, alongside the likes of Andrew Farrell, Ellery Hanley, Billy Boston and Martin Afire.
You mentioned Ellery and Billy Boston, two of the biggest names to play the sport, and they have one. And you know, now I've got them 3 letters after my name as well, and it's kind of hard for me to take that. And like I said, you know me pretty well. I'm a pretty unassuming fella, and part of me is a little uncomfortable being in that kind of company, but you know, part of me is very proud also.
Radlinski's last act as a player was to come out of retirement to help Wigan beat relegation last year before a series of injuries finally forced him to call it quits. He's now considering his post-playing options and says the MBE is not just for him, but for his club and his family.
I think they're the ones who'll probably get most enjoyment out of it. You know, they leave the house in the morning with, you know, their chest puffed out, and you know, rightly so. They dedicate so much into bringing you up the right way, and when on days like this, they want to show you off more than anybody. So, you know, it's probably for them that I did it all, and you know, they're as pleased as anybody. You know, the one thing about Wigan is, you know, they don't you know, make you to be a superstar. Everyone's on the same wavelength, and you know, I like that. I like being down to earth. I like, you know, going to my local pub and feeling comfortable, and you know, people have just said what they had to say and then left me to be, and it's been brilliant. You know, I'm very proud of where I come from, and like I said the other day, it's as much for the club as it is for me.